Hello. Hello, everyone. We are live for the first time. This is the first time I've gone live on YouTube. Super excited. I can see people are here already, so that's fantastic. Really excited to do this today. A little bit nervous, not going to lie. I hope you can hear me. So just type one in the chat if you can hear me. Hello, Barry. Yo, we are here. Good to see you, Barry. Thanks for tuning in. Danny Bly, here he is. Look. Nice one. You can hear me all right. Thanks, Danny. Thank you so much. So, already got people here, which is fantastic. Type your name into the chat and where you're from so I can say hello to you in a little bit. So we can also welcome everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody, so far. I'm going to keep this really short and sweet today because I know a lot of you have probably still got your Christmas shopping to do. I've not even started mine yet. Sorry, Mum. Don't tell her. I'll get it done in the end. Better late than never, eh? A little bit like making YouTube videos. I'll always leave it to the last minute, but it eventually gets done. That's all that matters. So there's a few reasons why I wanted to do a live stream today. So I'll run through those first before we get started. I can see more of you popping into the chat. That's fantastic. I'm going to say hello to everyone in a bit. Keep saying hello in the chat and where you're from, and we'll say hello in a bit. But yeah, a few reasons why I wanted to go live today. One, running a YouTube channel is extremely difficult. I'm sure for those of you that have got YouTube channels yourself, you might be able to relate to this. But I sort of got caught up in the content production hamster wheel, and I haven't been able to connect with you as much as I would have liked to. We used to have a lot of dialogue in the chat, and I used to make videos based on what people were saying in the comments. But because of brands and things like that, I've sort of shifted my focus a little bit that way. So I want to, within 2024, I want to do more things like this. I want to connect with you more often. And this is fantastic. Everybody, loads of people in the chat. It's great. This is what I want. Loads of people here that I want to talk to more often. So that's kind of my aim. And also, I'm thinking of doing like a monthly membership live training thing as well, which we can talk about in a little bit. That's going to be geared towards YouTube stuff and videography as well. So if any of you got any questions about that, we can chat about it in a bit. Also, a little bit of fun before Christmas. I want to say hello to you. Obviously, do a bit of a Q&A type thing. And also, thank you to every single one of you for being a subscriber and for following along on this journey as well. It's great to see everybody here. There's loads of people on. This is mint. I didn't expect it. I thought there'd be like one person here, and that'd be Mum. I haven't seen it yet though, so maybe not. Before we begin, what do you think to my new plant? I've still got the tag on there, but does anyone else have house plants with tags on, or is it just me? But the reason for that is because I forget the names of things. I forget what it's called. So if I forget what it's called, I don't know how to look after it properly. So I've kept the tag on. It's got the name of it, and then I can water it efficiently. So I'm going to go and say hello to everybody. Danny Bly, here he is. Barry Johnson, good to see you. Heathy boy from Exmouth, good to see you, man. Earl Greybeard, Ray in Nottingham, nice one. I'm in Nottingham as well. Good to see you. Florida is Barry. Afternoon. Oh, hey, we've skipped ahead. MC Media, afternoon. Wendy, good morning. Hans from Germany, hello. Heath's not done his Christmas shopping either. I'm glad it's not just me. Ian from Asia, good to see you. MC Media, Wendy again, Danny Boy. Hey, Willie Bobby's here. Type this face. Sammy Boy, Willie Bobby's logged in. Samuel, hello. King Kilios, good day from Germany. And we've got Ian, Zizo, loads of people. LA Patrick, few more. Great to see you. Tristan, my man Tristan's here. Good to see you, man. Right then, I think I've said hello to about everybody. Chad, hey up, Chad. Chad Starbucks, what a cool name. If I was to have a stage name, I would choose that. What a cool name, Chad. Awesome. Willie Bobby is here. Great. All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for turning up. So, I'm going to answer questions about videography, cameras, YouTube, and also the mindset of a creator as well, because whatever we're going through, we're not alone going through this stuff. And I think uh, talking about it together is a really good thing. So if there's anything you're struggling with, I'd love to know. If you've got any questions about anything to do with running a YouTube channel, or like a videography business or anything like that, anything you're struggling with, let us know in the comments. I'm going to go through as many questions as possible. So type them in the chat if you've got any. As I said, I don't want this to drag on for ages. I don't want to bore people. I want to keep it super sweet, short and sweet, but also provide a lot of value. So some of you couldn't make the live, so I've got some questions to begin with, and that might spark some ideas for you as well. But Danny Bly, you might have seen him on the channel a few times. He's got a YouTube channel himself, all about photography. He's a Sony guy. He uses Sony cameras. So if any of you use Sony cameras, definitely check out his channel as well. But I wanted to kick off with his question because it's kind of um, on the topic of what I want, where I want this to go. So his first question was, "What's the biggest regret for my business or YouTube channel this year?" In fact, it's a three-part question. What's the biggest hurdle, and what's the biggest achievement? So I'll start with the regret. Um, I feel like this year on the channel, I've accepted a lot of brand deals. Now that's a great position to be in. I'm super lucky to work with all the brands that I work with. Fantastic companies. It's amazing. I feel like really honored to be in that position. But my mission for starting this channel to begin with was to help beginner videographers um, improve their skills, basically, or people that had never picked up a camera and wanted to film videos. I wanted to help them, and because that was the position I was in, and at the time there wasn't a lot of resources on YouTube for it. So that's what I wanted to do, and doing a lot of the brand deals took me away from that mission. So that is kind of uh, that was my biggest regret. Even though it's been fantastic and it's a privilege to work with these brands, um, it's also strayed from my mission. So that's why 2024 is going to look a little bit different on the channel. Um, so regrets, these regrets, as long as you learn from them, they can be a good thing. Also, can I just check my microphone? It's coming through here, isn't it? Or is it coming through my? Have I gone quiet now? Can you hear me through here? Is that all right? Just let me know in the chat if it sounds all right, because I want it to come through this microphone instead of the speakers. Awesome, thank you, Danny boy. Thank you. All right. So the second part of the question was, what was the biggest hurdle? For me, I think it might be the same for a lot of people. Hey, oh, Emily's here as well. Hello, Emily. Good to see you. Micro Four Nerds. Then the biggest hurdle for a lot of content creators on YouTube, there was a big dip in views. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but I did speak to a lot of people that did experience that. And that's difficult. When you do YouTube full time, it's scary to think that the views are dropping because you don't know what's going to happen. If the views drop, everything else drops. The money drops, the sales on the website drop. It's scary. But so that was like a big hurdle mentally to overcome. So not letting that affect me and the other people that were going through it as well, and just pushing forward through that, everything's all right now. It's it that like actually that dip in views happening helped me think about where I wanted to position myself on YouTube. So when things like that happen, it makes you stronger. It was a little bit like COVID. A lot of us, we all had to adapt. And from doing that, it made us stronger in the long run. So that was a big hurdle. And then obviously the biggest achievement. So this might not be so obvious, but my biggest achievement, if I manage to have a week off over Christmas, I will pat myself on the back because it just doesn't happen. The only 2 days I've had off, like 2 full days off, not doing any work, was when I had COVID, and I had COVID for about 3 weeks. So it was nice just to sit there on the sofa for two full days watching horror films. That's what I did. Um, so yeah, I hope that answers your question, Danny boy. Maybe that relates to some of you as well. Um, let's have a look in the chat because I can see some questions. Let me just scroll up to the top. The Tozo Tube says, "Hey brother, you are one of my favorite filmmaking YouTubers. Love your friendly energy. there's a place for you in the community that's really hard to come across. Thank you so much for your kind words. It's great. This is why I like to do things like this, because I get to connect with everybody. Thanks so much for the kind words. I'm so pleased you like the channel. I hope it helps, whatever it is that you're doing on YouTube. I really hope it helps. Willie Bobby's there again. Heathy Boy, Worcestershire, Sony. Okay, it's Ian's got a question. Sony A6700, yay or nay? 70% videographer, 30%. I actually haven't tried that camera. I would love to try it, because those small cameras like that, especially for going out and vlogging, I love the idea of a mini camera. I don't know if you saw my video on the A7C Mark II recently. Love the form factor of that camera. So anything that's small, I just feel like a lot of those cameras, sensors aren't quite good enough yet. You know, like, and it's not me being a snob. They're fantastic cameras, obviously. But you know, when you're used to like a good sensor, and then you go to a smaller camera and the low light capabilities aren't as good, it's like driving a muscle car and then getting back into your Fiat 500 or something, or a Ford Fiesta. It's just not the same after, you know. So my recommendation though is, with cameras, if you're thinking about buying a camera, if you know someone who's got one, or if you can go to like a higher place or something, rent the camera first, give it a go, give it a speed test, and see if you like it, because there's so many cameras that do so many different things. And have a play with one, see if it fits your needs. That's my advice on cameras. And I'm obviously lucky enough that I get to test a lot of different ones, and that really helps, like, me help other people make decisions about cameras. Um, let's have a look. Hey up, Danny boy, big up Sony. Hey up, Heathy boy's got a cream and jam scone. Nice. Well, here we go. Look, I've got a peppermint tea in a Batman mug, so I'll join you. I'll say cheers to you, Heath. I need that. Wet me whistle a little bit. Oh, here we go. Tristan, I want to bring back my channel in 2024. Good. That is good to hear, Tristan, because YouTube misses you. I know I do. Keep it camera and gear, film tips / story related. Not sure how to start again. Can't afford new equipment to talk about. Okay, really good question. So a bit of background on Tristan. He had a channel on YouTube. I think he started with the Super 76 bikes. Is that what it is? Super 76. And then he slowly transitioned into the photography, videography niche. He's an exceptionally good photographer and videographer. Really good stuff. Go and check out his channel. And then I know he's taken a lot of twists and turns in his career. And it's difficult to stay consistent on YouTube when you like working a bunch of different jobs. My advice to somebody like who's either taken a break from YouTube or is new to YouTube, and they're thinking about what they want to do, especially in like the photography videography niche, like a lot of views come from gear reviews, but it can be very expensive to keep buying gear to do reviews. Um, my advice there is to like just if you're going to go down the review route, I'm sure there's plenty of gear that you've got that you can talk about. And it doesn't just have to be the surface level overall. This is a new phone. This is what I think to it. You could talk about a specific feature in that phone and make an entire video on just one feature. So you could get maybe like 10 to 15 videos, or even more sometimes, just out of that one thing. And then again, relating it to the photography videography niche, you don't just have to stick to the features of a phone. You could do a tutorial based on what's the best way of getting stabilization from an iPhone, or whatever it is that you want to talk about. So just spend a little bit of time, like pick one piece of gear and think how write all the ideas out. It doesn't matter how stupid the idea is, write all your ideas out and see if you can come up with a bunch that you can do. I always say, I'm not saying that this is you, Tristan, but a lot of people ask what shall I make a YouTube channel about? I think if you don't know what to make it about, you shouldn't make one, because it needs to come naturally. It needs to be something that you are really passionate about, and um, otherwise, it's just going to be so difficult. If you're stuck for ideas, that's when it's super tough and draining. But yeah, good question, man. I hope that sort of answers your question a little bit. I personally, Tristan, whatever you make is going to be fantastic. I think if you're going to go down a different niche, it might be better off starting a new channel, because um, it YouTube is going to then have to figure out what what your new topic is, and it's going to have to test a lot of things, and it's going to be difficult to grow if you go down a different direction. So if you're going to do something completely different, start a new channel, start from scratch. I know it's horrible, but at the end of the day, it will be better off in the long run. Um, Keep your questions coming in, and if you've just joined, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're from, so we can I don't know, so we can say hello, basically. Okay, scrolling down a little bit. Great to see everyone. 35 people here. That's great. I've got 17 thumbs up as well. I've never gone live on YouTube, so I'm not used to this interface at all. It's scary. I will say that it's scary, but we'll get there, won't we? Okay. Willie Bob, this guy never relaxes. You're right, and the hallmark of not relaxing is the bags under their eyes, especially with this lighting. I probably look like I've just woke up. It feels like it, that's for sure. Thank you, Sven. You're doing an amazing job. Thanks for everything. Thank you for everything, Sven. Thanks for the kind messages. Merry Christmas, Steve. Um, okay, Aaron Young. Hi from Margate. Hello, Aaron. Tips on turning videography from a hobby to a money making business and getting those first clients? Awesome question, because this is something that I did myself. I know a lot of you in the comments in the chat have done this yourself as well. So a really good tip I actually had from a friend of mine who I started YouTube with, um, is think about, in fact, Aaron, let us know in the chat, what sort of videos do you want to make? What's your ideal client? What's the ideal brand that you want to work with? My advice is Instagram is a fantastic place to start a business with videography, because that's where most people are. So many people are on Instagram, and whatever it is, whatever your favorite brand is, or whatever the niche is that you want to get into with video making or photography or whatever it is, it's good to have a show reel or a bank of the work that you do in that style of people. For example, if you want to make videos for people for like an outdoor wear company like Snow Gear or something like that, if your Instagram feed is full of projects that you've done in that niche, the brands that you want to work with are going to see that and go, this is the perfect person for us. Whereas if you do a bit of everything, if you do music videos, if you do weddings, if you do outdoor wear, if you do this, if you do coffee and tea stuff, it's all a little bit all over the place, and the right people might miss it. So go out and do some passion projects, do free work for brands to begin with, to build that portfolio online, and get your stuff out there, and people will find it. If it's good enough, people will find it. And just try and, in Instagram, Facebook, I don't like Facebook, but it's there. It's a tool. Instagram is a great place to make connections. And if you reach out to these brands and say, look, I'm starting doing this. Here's some of my other work that I've done so far. I'd love to do a free thing for you. Are you up for it? Let's do it. The more of those you can do, the more connections you build, the more stuff you have on your portfolio, the better it looks, the more work you'll get in the future. And that's the way to do it. It takes time, but you'll be surprised how quickly it does actually all come to you. I'm sure there's a lot of people in watching right now that are in that position where they've started something and it's grown really fast. So Aaron, I hope that's a good I'm just looking to see if you left another comment. But I hope that makes sense. I hope that's a good tip. That's what I would do if I was starting again. um Emily, Micro Four Nerds, I have a YouTube question. I'm just gonna have a sip of this because my mouth's gone dry because I've been talking. I don't talk for this long, so I'm not used to it. Emily has a YouTubey question. How long do you tweak it before tweak? How long do you leave it before tweaking a thumbnail or title if something isn't performing as well as you like? That's a great question as well. I want to get into the nitty gritty of all this, um, but I don't want to be talking to about loads about YouTube if there aren't loads of YouTubey people here. But good question because this happened to me the other day. Um, so I made a video and I'm kind of testing a bunch of titles at the moment. If you look at my channel recently, you'll probably see that a lot of my titles are the same. And I'm testing to see if it's the title that works, or if it's the thumbnail that works, or if it's the topic that works, or if it's the video length that works. There's a load of tests that you have to do to figure out what works. And the important thing here is every channel is different. So you have to base your tests on what works and what doesn't work for you. But I did a video the other day, tested a title, and it didn't work as expected. So I left it, I think, about 2 days. You want YouTube tests the audience, it pushes it out to a range of people based on your existing audience. So if you've got a subscriber base of 5,000, for example, it will test that topic, that video topic, on most of those people first, or the people in your subscriber base that are also interested in that specific topic. Um, uh, so I did a video the other day, and I thought it was going to perform a certain to a certain amount, and it didn't. I left it a little bit. I think it was about 2 days to see if YouTube would push it a little bit further and test it, but the views were just going down. So I thought, right, okay, this should be doing better. So I changed it after 2 days. Now, if it really, really flops on day one or after a few hours, then change it maybe, but only change it if you know it's like if you know that it's the title or thumbnail that is the issue. It, what I usually do is wait until I can see the audience retention, because if it's the audience retention that's really low, it's not like a it's not always a title and thumbnail issue. It's more to do with the video being pants, basically. But yeah, I usually give things a day or two before I change anything. Hope that helps, Emily. I think Emily's got a great channel and she's doing really well with returning subscribers. She's built up a really good viewership, returning viewership, and that's a really important thing on YouTube. So great job there, Emily. Keep doing it. And as the biggest thing I'll say is, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. You know, some topics on YouTube just don't do as well as others. Test things, test a new title if you want, but don't agonize over it too much. Yes, Earl Greybeard FX30, good camera, great price, definitely worth trying. Ian, thanks for the tip. I'll try one up in the upcoming Sony event. Yes, yeah, go and try one. Super 73, that's the name of the bikes. Comment on gear acquisition syndrome. Okay, Covey, I think I'm saying your name right. Can you please comment on gear acquisition syndrome? I've downsized from Sony A7 III and Canon R8 to two Panasonic. Good move. Moving over to Panasonic G95s and a bunch of lenses. Happy with the decision for YouTube. So do you mean you like to spend money on gear? I think that's a problem we probably all share in this little community. I think when I first started, after about 6 months of buying videography gear, I remember saying to my dad, right, after this, that's it. I don't ever need anything else. And here I am. Look at this room. I can barely get in this room because it's full of stuff. But yeah, I think I think to answer your question, it comes down to what you actually need, but you don't know what you need and how often you need it until you have it. So as long as you're not spending money you don't have or breaking the bank on all the latest gear just because it's the latest gear, you're okay. If you've got the money and it's like an investment to a business, for example, you're fine. If you're just starting out and you're not earning money yet, you can do a lot with just a camera and a tripod. I know for a long while, tripods were like not popular because it was all about camera movement and gimbals and stuff like that. But you can actually like I'm trying more stuff with tripods lately. I like locked off shots. You know, when you see a locked off shot, just a static shot in a film, it can be really powerful and it makes you think about the action that's happening on screen rather than the camera movements. So there's a lot to be said about that. But then on the other side, to on the other side of the coin, having gear that works really well, that makes your job easier, is just like it's fantastic. There's things that I use every day and couldn't live without it. So yeah, just maybe like for people like wanting to pull the trigger on a new piece of gear, a good trick is to, if you're browsing on Amazon, wait a day, give it 24 hours or 48 hours if you're really strong-willed, and then if you still want it then or still need it then go for it. But just have a little bit of a buffer time before jumping in. Heathy boy, great question. I saw the word shorts, and let's dive into this YouTube question. Do you like shorts or not? And not the ones I wear. Oh, and not the ones I wear all year. Well, mate, if you can wear shorts all year round, you're a better man than I am, because I'm freezing right now and I've got the heating on and I've got trousers on and slippers. So YouTube shorts. Hang on, I think the chat's bumped up a little bit. I can't see it. I personally, Danny Boy knows this. I'm not a fan of YouTube shorts and creating shorts. I feel like there was a bit of a craze because of TikTok. You know, everybody jumped on the short wagon. Everybody's promised a load of views and a load of subscribers from short form content. But at the end of the day, I just think my approach to it is I enjoy making long form content. I don't enjoy shorts. I feel like you can get personality across in a short video. But how much value can I really provide in that short space of time? Sometimes, if I'm thinking of a YouTube video, some videos aren't worthy of a 10-minute video. It can be summed up in a short. And that's where I think short form content in our niche, in this niche, is really helpful, because I can just make a quick short about it, help people, and that's all they need. And they can watch it for 30 seconds and be on their way. Whereas a 10-minute video is going to waste people's time. I don't want to invest in shorts. We've spoken about this a lot, me and Danny Bly. Um, you have to get a tremendous amount of views to make money from ads on YouTube or it. Yes, you can get monetized by, you know, having brand deals and stuff like that, and you can make videos really quickly. There's a guy called Chris Brockhurst. If you've not heard of him, he's really good at the Instagram short game. Like, he's got a great way of getting out pumping out content really easily. And so if you're going to do that, maybe do something like that. But what I don't like about shorts is when people start to make content for the sake of making content. I don't like that. And I don't want to add to the noise of that either. I feel like my skills are better suited to making long videos, and I just enjoy it. So that's where I'm at. If you like it, go for it. And another thing is, I don't watch short form content. So it's also like, it's the reason why I don't have TikTok and I don't make TikTok videos. I don't like TikTok. I don't want to consume content on there. So I'm not going to do it. Why would I want? I think a lot of people make content on certain platforms because they think that's going to get them the growth. But I just want to do what I enjoy doing. And I recommend that to anybody. Brian, also part-time comedian. I wish I was. I'd love to. I'd love to have the skills to be a comedian. I can't think quick enough. Doing this right now is scary enough. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, my recommendation for creating any sort of content is do it because you enjoy doing it, and that's it. I love YouTube as a platform, so I'm always gonna. I think I'm always gonna create. If it wasn't for this videography channel, I'd do something else on YouTube. I think it's fantastic. So yes, Heath, also have fun with whatever you do. Sam, what's up from Florida? Lowell, is that right? Lowell. Um, Tristan, good. I'm glad that helped. Good to see you here. Oh, Willie Bob says, type this face. That's Willie Bob. My question is, where's the Santa hat in the thumbnail? It should be being worn. You know what? I almost wore my Christmas jumper for this. Like Primark. I don't know if you have Primark wherever you're from, but we have Primark and it's super cheap. You can get a jumper for about £4. Christmas jumper though, 18 quid it cost, and I've not even worn it. Forgot to put it on. So yeah, Santa hat's away. Otherwise, I'd grab it and put it on. Sorry, Willie Bob. You just have to save the picture and just look at it whenever you need. Eugene, hello, and he says hello to everybody as well. Afternoon from Liverpool. Nice one. Not far away. Picked up some great tips from the YouTube videos. Good stuff. I'm so glad. Urban Van Life says, good to have you here. I'm just going to have another Slurpee of the Batman juice. Hang on. Deck Williams says, just wanted to say a big thank you for all the advice. You're very inspiring. Have a good Christmas. Thank you, Deck. Hope you have a good Christmas too. I'm so glad that the videos have helped. While we're on that, I just want to say as well, like what I touched on earlier, I'm going to do less brand deals. If you weren't here for the beginning, I'm doing less brand deals next year in 2024 because I want to focus on my initial mission, which was to bring more videography beginner to intermediate, or they call them improver videography tips. So I'm going to focus more on that. I've already got a calendar full of ideas. I'm bursting at the seams to talk about that stuff. I'm really excited to get going. So for those of you that did, excuse me, I drank that Batman juice too quick. For those of you that did tune in for the videography tips, there'll be plenty more coming, and I'd love to get you comments about what you want to see as well. Here we go. Ian has a question. In your first year of uploading, how did you garner eyes on your channel? Did you plug it to social media as well, or just searchable title? I'm really tempted to start getting serious. Great stuff, Ian. I'm glad you want to get started on the YouTube game. I'll say this, it's very difficult. It's a difficult train to board, but super fun as well. For anybody that wants like tuition on the YouTube thing, I actually do one-on-one sessions. I've got a link in the description, but advice to begin with, YouTube likes it when you bring people from other platforms. So what I used to do, I started an Instagram account at the same time as my YouTube channel. And I just interacted with loads of people on Instagram, and I'll just post when I've got a new video up like that. And what I love about Instagram is it's really great for building a community. So I talk to so many people on there. I've met so many people, so many YouTubers through Instagram, and I love it. It's a really nice place. If you've noticed, I don't post a lot on my Instagram. I'm going to be doing more like behind the scenes stuff on there, I think, but I'm not interested in growing the Instagram. It's more just to connect with people. But yeah, that does help. If you can get something side by side and you enjoy posting on Instagram and connecting with people on Instagram, do that for sure. But what I was saying about YouTube is, although it likes it when there's traffic coming from other sources, it can't use that as data to push it to other people, if that makes sense. So, for example, if your views are coming from search-based content, it will recognize that and push it to people that are also searching for that thing. If your views are coming from browse or homepage, it's going to push it to more people who are interested in that similar topic. If it's coming from off the platform, it doesn't know who to push it to because it's not had a direct link. So what you have to do, to answer the question, what you have to do is, to begin with, you can do a mixture of search-based content, and then just general stuff, whatever your channel's about. And it's different for every channel. I'd love to go deeper with this topic, Ian. I'd love to know, dig deep with what your ideas are, and I can help set you up with a plan. There's someone I'm speaking to at the moment who's getting set up with a YouTube channel, and it's very niche. So we're talking about all the different ideas and the products that she can release, and we're reverse engineering it. Super excited about that. So if you want to do something similar, Ian, or anybody, use the link in the description. I'm only doing limited. I'm doing 5 sessions a month of the one-on-one. So or send me a message if you want to ask me more questions about it, but link below if you want to know more. I hope that helped a little bit, Ian. Do you see more people using 30 frames a second than 24 frames a second these days? I'm noticing it more here in Miami. Where are you seeing it being used? So usually films use, like, cinema films use 24 frames a second. It's got a certain look about it. 30 frames a second is generally used in like soaps and things like that. You imagine like a Friends series or Big Bang or something like that. It's got a slightly different look about it. Some say it looks a little bit cleaner. And then you've on the other side, you've got things like platforms like Instagram, where they want you to upload in 30 frames a second just because that's the format. So it depends what platform you're uploading to. I like to film in 25 frames a second because I'm in the UK, so I use 25 frames. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to get into the nerdy stuff, but I always use 24 or 25 frames a second. And then the higher frame rates if you want to slow it down for slow motion, obviously. But let me know whereabouts are you noticing it more and more? What platforms are you looking on? Hi, Sam. Patrick. Hi, Sam. Watch your channel about 3 years. Thank you so much for following on for so long. Good to know that you've not got bored of me yet. Really like your product review, but also your tips and tutorials when you're back with content like this. Thank you, Patrick from Poland. Yeah, so 2024 is going to be all about tutorials and the gear reviews every now and then. I love doing gear reviews because it does help people make decisions on what gear, because there's a lot of stuff coming out, and it's difficult to decide. So being able to help on those decisions, I really enjoy it. There's so many comments. Really, this is awesome. I'm just trying to scroll. I don't want to miss anybody. I think I found. But thanks for following along, Patrick. Great to have you here, as all of you. I'm glad that helped, Ian. Good stuff. Go off the click-through rate data thumbnail. Yeah, click-through rate data, that's a good metric to look at. But it depends, like, how deep do I go on this? If you're thinking whether you want to change a thumbnail, if a video is not performing as well on YouTube as it normally would, you can look at your click-through rate. But the click-through rate is going to change depending on how many people it's been pushed out to. And then there's a bunch of different factors as well. So you've got the title, you've got the thumbnail, you've got the video topic, you've got the intro, and then you've got the overall retention. So you can go off the click-through rate. That might be great. If you're not getting as many views, it might be because people aren't watching for longer. Therefore, YouTube won't push it out as broadly, if that makes sense. So there's so many factors. Batman mug to go with the Batman camera. Exactly. Yeah, the Batman camera is the Lumix S5 Mark II X because it's all black and it's cool. It's a great camera, that. Is Panasonic still the best above all? I love Panasonic cameras. I've been lucky enough to work with Panasonic a lot. When you do YouTube videos, let me be a little bit vulnerable here. When you do YouTube videos, you get a lot of comments from a lot of people that think you're just out to sell something and that you're being paid to say something. And that's not always, it's not very nice to hear, because I started this channel and I wanted to be honest with everybody about what I was talking about. I'm an enthusiastic person, just generally. I get excited about the smallest things, like my little tag that's still on the plant there. Sometimes it might come across a little bit disingenuous, but I just get excited about all cameras. I love all cameras, and that's the fact. But having tried so many cameras, Panasonic, there's a reason why I switched to Panasonic. I love Canon, love what Sony are doing as well. They're doing some great stuff, but Panasonic for me, when I first used them, um, it was the image that I was searching for. That is the image that I was. I'm not the best videographer by any stretch, but that Panasonic Lumix cameras gave me the image that I'd been looking for all along. So when I saw it, I was like, right, I've got to get one of these. Sold all my Canon stuff and invested in Lumix cameras, and I haven't looked back since. I've tried so many expensive cameras, and I've always gone back to Lumix. They're just great, and they're a great company as well. Um, okay, Urban Van Life says, I'd recommend Daryl Eves Jump Starter course. We're on it now, and it's amazing. Also, go to Vid Summit. I would love to go to Vid Summit. I think they had Peter McKinnon at the last one, didn't they? Yeah, Daryl Eves' Jump Starter course. I've got his book, actually, YouTube Formula. And I was so close to doing the Jump Starter course. So close. I just wanted, because it's quite expensive, and I'm all up for investing in things, but I wanted to give it another slog to see if I could figure it out myself first. And I feel like, I've not got all the answers, obviously, but I'm I think I'm getting there with stuff. So next year will be a good test, because I'm going to obviously try different content again, which means my views might take a little bit of a hit, but those views, in theory, should be a little bit better quality views. So yeah, but I'd love to do that course. I'm glad you think it's doing well. Keep me up to date on it. Urban Van Life says, takes 21 days for videos to get into the algorithm. Yeah, it can do. It can take a little. It can be quicker than that. It can be longer than that. Sometimes depends what's trending. It depends. It depends on so many factors, like your audience, if they're watching it or not, the topics, and then obviously the title and thumbnail and stuff like that. But just because a video isn't performing well in the first week or 2 weeks or months doesn't mean it's dead completely. I've had videos that did awful, and then 3 months later do really well. So you never know. Don't worry about, the 10 out of 10 metric. Don't worry about it. I know I do sometimes, but just let it go. Like, there's more stuff in life to think about than if your YouTube video didn't do that well. If you're just tuning in now, hello. Let me say hello in the chat and where you're from. We're doing questions about YouTube stuff, videography stuff. Love it if you tuned in. So many comments to go through. I'm trying to blitz through it all because I was only going to do like half an hour. We've already gone over, but this is fun, and hopefully you're enjoying it still. The thumbnail with the white background and well-lit product of yours stood out. What YouTube pushed on my feed is so good. Okay. You know what, Ian? I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm going to give you a little tip. So he's referring to my thumbnails at the moment where it's a white background and then it's just super simple. I'm holding a product up. There's a few reasons why I did that. 60% of people on YouTube use dark mode. So a bright thumbnail is going to stand out. Simple as that. If the video is about an iPhone 15 and people want to know about the iPhone 15, do they want to see my face? No, they want to see the iPhone 15. So that should be front and center of the thumbnail. So that's 2 reasons so far. But whatever video you're doing, this is like a step further. Look at type in the video video topic that you're making into YouTube. See what comes up already. See what colors and images everyone else is using. And then if it's predominantly dark colors, you go for a lighter color and yours will stand out amongst those search results. And that's what I do a lot of the time. If everyone's using blue, use orange. If everybody's using pink, use green. If everyone's using black, use white. So that's how I gauge what color I'm going to use in my thumbnails. But I kind of like this little style that I've got going on the moment. It's super easy. Don't tell anyone, but I'm lazy. So that style works for me and for the type of videos. In different niches, in different topics, is going to be different. So just test things. I know a lot of people are like testing that thumbnail style from seeing what I've been doing, and the reason why it might not work for them is because they might not recognize it as that channel. So like copying things and lifting ideas from other creators doesn't always work like you hoped. and it leaves you sometimes feeling like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Maybe my channel is just not very good. But there's so many variables. But thanks, Ian. Uh, thanks, Emily. I'm your YouTube guru. Thanks for answering. Great stuff. Thanks for the tips, Aaron. Hobby has mainly been product stuff. Okay, food and drink. Let's have a look for some more questions. Make 3 thumbnails. Yeah. So Urban Van Life says make 3 thumbnails for every video. I spent an entire week on a thumbnail once. Just because I make so many different variations. I do at least 25 video titles. At the moment, like with this thumbnail style, because like a super simple product thumbnail, easy, because it just needs to be the product, you know. But then if there's a certain thing that you're talking about within the product, then you need to change it up slightly. So make as many thumbnails as you can, and pick the best one. If you only do one, you can't gauge if that's your favorite or not. So yeah, make at least 3, I would say, and make them different. Don't just make one tiny little change for each one. Make them completely different concepts, but above all, make sure they are right for the video topic and title. Oscar Cloud, good question. Just wondering what your favorite films and directors are. Also, when you don't do YouTube, what kind of projects do you work on? So I'll answer the second part first. I started out doing music videos, just like little projects, because that was my background. I used to be in bands, so making uh, music videos was easy. Really, I'd watched a load of music videos, and I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed being around people in bands and musicians and stuff like that. So it seemed like a natural progression. Um, I don't do much of it anymore, if I'm honest, because YouTube is my full-time thing. I try to, I try and do like passion things. I was out the other night actually with a couple of people trying to film something. I love the film Drive. Um, Full disclosure, I'm terrible at remembering names. So when it comes to like favorite directors and stuff like that, because I haven't been in the videography game for so long, like I just have like, excuse me, Batman Juice is coming up. I just have like a few favorite films that I like. I'll never remember. I know this might sound a little bit disrespectful, but I forget people's names, like the directors and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So I don't have like favorite directors, but what I will say is I loved the Joker and I loved the Batman film, the new Batman film, because I like Batman. As you can tell, here we go. Look, Batman mug. It's my favorite superhero because of how dark it is. And I'm not like a lot of films are a little bit silly nowadays, and they don't take it seriously, and it's like all about the comedy and stuff. I like a pure gangster dark film, and that Batman and the Joker was fantastic. I thought it was great, and I also like old school looking video, like 70s style. I love it. I love a bit of grain. So anything like that. And I like to try and recreate that sort of stuff. I don't get as much time as I'd like to work on these things. We were out the other night, as I say, and we tried. It was a little bit ambitious, really. We tried to get a full sequence in one night, and we got most of it, um, but we had to sort of call it a night. I was worn out because it was just like it was difficult. It was difficult to do. I'm thinking of sharing it because I've got some behind the scenes footage. I want to share it. I want to talk about the lighting, and I want to talk about the lens choices, some of the things that didn't quite go to plan, and also how we planned it as well. So yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for your question, Oscar. A lot of people are saying they're not a fan of shorts. Yeah. Uh, okay, I'm just scrolling through some more questions. So I'm going to sippy while I read. Barry, this may need to be a membership level course. Can you do an expert level course on top down video, whether we are shooting manual or in autofocus? Top down video, lighting tips. I'd love to do like a course on all of these things because in YouTube videos, you don't get to go super in depth with stuff because you've only got like 6 to 10 minutes to like keep people engaged. And if you stray off topic slightly or if you go too in depth, people switch off and then YouTube won't save your videos. So that's why I want to build more courses to go super in depth. So I'd love to. Yeah, let me know what you like. Top down shots. I know a little bit of a plug for Caleb at DSLR Video Shooter. He's done recently a top down tutorial workshop, I think. So definitely go and check that out. DSLR Video Shooter. And look on his website because he's great at that sort of stuff. His lighting is always on point. I don't know if he's here. He's probably not here, but if he is, hello, Caleb. Okay. Oh, I just want to say as well, Heath George, if you don't follow him on YouTube or Instagram, he's doing a joke of the day lead up to Christmas. He's actually, I always feel bad because I've got so many unread messages in my Instagram inbox, and I don't get time to like reply to everybody all the time. But he's doing a joke of the day to raise money for a charity. So if you go and check him out on YouTube, Heath George, on Instagram, and yeah, it's a good cause. So go and check him out. Thanks, Heath, for tuning in again as usual. Let's see, a lot of chat about shorts. Eric Maloney. Hi, Sam. Love the channel, man. Do you think it's tougher to grow an audience in the YouTube filmmaking community if you don't cover the latest, greatest gear? Great question. So YouTube is difficult. I think you can stand out in any niche if you're doing something different and unique and offering value. I'll hold my hands up. Like, I'm not really offering anything different to anybody else. I just got lucky with some videos that I did, I think, in the early stages. I kind of understand the game a little bit better now, so I know how to position myself a little bit more, which helps. But actually, on that, I heard the other day that YouTube is pushing new creators and new channels. So if you're starting YouTube, it's a good time to do it. What I will say is, like, try and refine. I know it's impossible to do if you've never done it before, and you obviously get better the more you do. But if you try and research some YouTube tips to begin with, again, I'll do some one-to-one so I can help you get set up and running if you want to. There's a link in the description. But if you're new, and you know how to create an engaging video that gets clicks and good watch time, then you're going to do well in 2024 because YouTube is pushing new channels. It's hard to stand out in any niche if you're doing what everyone else is doing. So if you can be different in any way, do it. Like, be unique if you can. I know it's easier said than done, and as I say, I'm not really being that unique. I'm trying to be. I think the best way of being unique is just being yourself. If you can let your personality shine through, which is difficult, especially, like, I script a lot of my videos because I find speaking about things very difficult. So without prompts, this is very hard. Like, I can speak to people if I can see them face to face. Reading comments and trying to be engaging is difficult. So it's great to have people asking questions like this. It really helps. But I script a lot of my videos, but then trying to be natural, but whilst reading a script is really difficult. But there's so many people who can speak really well, like just off the cuff. Josh is good. If you know Josh Cameron, he's got a channel all about Lumix gear, and he can. You could just tell Josh, "Oh, Josh, make a video about this Lumix lens," and he would be able to talk about that lens without planning anything. Have the video done within 10 minutes, and then get the video out. I don't know how he does it. He's just got the gift of the gab, and I wish I had that. I envy those people. But yeah, being unique, letting your personality shine through really helps. So if there's a way you can package that up on YouTube, you're going to do well. Yeah, Danny Boy's made a good point. We talk about this a lot. 10,000, you might, if you do shorts, for example, and think, oh, I got 10,000 views, that's really good. It seems a lot of views for a long form piece of content, but in the short game, it's not. 10,000 views in the short game is like getting 3 views on a long form piece of content, if that. Plus, you've got to get so many more to earn any money through YouTube. So, oh, the chat's just bumped up again. Let me just scroll up to see if we've got any questions. I don't want to miss anybody. Hello, everyone. Just Chris. Yeah, let us know if you're just starting If you're just joining us, let us know who you are and where you're from. I've seen a question that I want to come back to. I think I might do it first. Where's it gone? Chad, Starbucks, best name in the game. Look at that. I wish that was my name. Chad. Who am I going to collab with in 2024? That's a good question. I've got a few people. There's a few that spring to mind that I actually am going to collab with, but I kind of want them to be surprises. But there's one coming up that I'm really excited about. I don't want to give the game away, but they actually run commercial studios in California. So collaborating with those is going to be really exciting, and I think it will bring a lot of value to people listening. I know they've brought a lot of value to me, so I'm looking forward to collabing with those. I just need to get out and about a little bit more as well, because so many people that I speak to and just don't get a chance to meet up with them. But yeah, there's going to be collabs coming for sure. Chad, thank you. Chad. Hey, from Sean. Good to see you, man. I've not seen you for a while. Hello from Florida. I hope you're doing well. Hope the channel's doing well. Workflow regarding content creation. I might come back to that question in a little bit, Ian. Let me just see what else we've got. But remind me if not. I'm basically putting a lot of hours into it. And in fact, that's a good point, because I've got someone lined up to do the editing. I love editing, but I spend a lot of time on the edit, which is good. Like, I want to make sure it looks good, and I want to make sure everything's like wrapped up nicely, and I want to make sure the pacing is good. I've slipped down a bit. I started up there and my chair's gone down like that. So I'm just going to reposition that, get the framing right. Yeah, so workflow, I've got loads of ideas. I just write them down on my notes app. I put them on my calendar. I will test the idea first, make sure it sits in line with what my audience want and what my channel's about. If it's not, then I won't do it. Then I'll spend a day or two scripting. In fact, I'll go, if it's a product review, for example, I'll write down a few things that I want to cover, things that I think are going to be unique about that thing. Then I'll go out and test and confirm. Then I'll look at the footage. Then I'll make my conclusions and write them down and script. So I'll spend another day, a day and a half doing that. Then I'll probably spend like 2 to 3 days editing, just because I'm so like picky about every split second, every cut, every piece of B-roll, then the music and stuff. It takes a while. I always do my thumbnails and titles first, so that I know how to create my content. That's another thing we can talk about at another point. But yeah, I've spent 3 weeks on a video before. But the thing with that is, like, the retention on that video was so good, but it was the wrong video for my audience, so it didn't do that well. So there's a happy medium in there. I think if I spend that long again, I'm gonna make sure it's on a video that I know is gonna do well. Okay. Heath says, are you going to do more sessions like the color grading one? Thank you, Heath. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, so I did a color grading course, which was my first live workshop thing that I ever did. You might have seen me talk about it recently. Really enjoyed that, because I got to connect with you, and that's what kind of sparked this whole live thing today. So I enjoyed talking with everybody. So I thought I would do more of it. Yes, I'm definitely going to do more. In the videography space, it's difficult to do like a tutorial in a live way, because I want to show you examples of being out in the field, so to speak, and it's hard to do that live. So I've got some ideas though. I'm going to do some pre-recorded stuff, but then build a bit of a community within there that we can all chat about it, and then I'm going to go live and talk about it after. And I've got some topics in mind that I want to discuss. So that's more. I think I've got about 4 or 5 ideas that I'm going to do in the new year. So definitely stay tuned for those. And if there's any ideas that you have that you want to know about, let me know. Thank you. You have very cool videos. Thanks, Neutral Networks in Russia. Oh, good. I'm glad you get to watch the videos still in other countries. Awesome. Never thought of using my Instagram for converts. Yeah, check it out. What type of tripod would you recommend for a mirrorless camera when traveling? Right. This is not sponsored at all, but Ulanzi did send me these tripods. Just full disclosure, I use this Ulanzi. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. This tripod, Coman, Ulanzi and Coman tripod. I hope that's the way around. It's in mirror on this. Really good tripod, lightweight, fast to set up, easy to get set up. But this is their video version. It's only a tiny bit bigger, tiny bit heavier, but it's got like a fluid video head on it. Great for traveling. I stick that on my backpack and I don't know it's there. It's a really good size and weight. So I highly recommend these. They're both Ulanzi. Oh, this one's called Video Go TT09. Highly recommend. I like, yeah, great. What up, Chris? Keep up the hard work. Thank you. Hey man, all the way from Scotland. How you doing? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sean. Oh, videos 2 minutes behind. Yeah, I think live videos are always a little bit behind. So I'm sorry if I'm answering your question. A bit of fluff there went in the way of me. Yeah, sorry if there's a little bit of a lag or delay. I'll try and get through everybody's. I'm going to do another a couple more minutes, I think. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. Let me know if you have any more questions. I've still got loads to go through. Have you noticed on the GoPro that the face looks like it's getting older? My face, my face is always getting older. I had it like that, and you also had it in the review. Yeah, so the GoPro, I don't want to speak bad about anything, but I've noticed that the GoPro, I mean, action cameras in general, they can look a bit like grainy. And if the lighting's quite harsh, they can make they did make me look a bit odd. I have to be careful anyway because my complexion's not the best. So that's why I don't film a lot of videos out and about, because I like to make sure the lighting's right. Otherwise, I just feel awful about myself and then don't post anything. Okay, is Fujifilm a good brand? I've only actually, I'd love to get to use more Fujifilm cameras. I haven't used the X-T3. I'd love to try it. I've got the X100V. Love that thing. I did a video about it if you want to check it out from a photography point of view. I'm not much of a photographer, but I did it anyway because just for fun. But I wanted to test it for video. So there's still going to be a video about that at some point. Richie's, love your channel, especially the product reviews. Oh, I'm glad. Look forward to more of the same in 2024. All the best from the Wirral. Thank you, Richie's. Yeah, it's hard with product reviews because I enjoy doing them. Especially the comparisons, because um, I like to just like, you don't know what a camera looks like. You don't know how good a camera is, or even anything. You don't know how good a guitar sounds on its own, and you compare it to something else. So putting two things side by side and comparing them, you notice more. I nearly bought a guitar once, and then I tried this one next to it. I thought, I'll just give that a go. And it was so much better. And I'm so glad I tried it. Same with cameras. You don't know until you put them side by side. So that's why I like doing the product reviews. But the thing is with them, like, you bring in a new audience on YouTube because people are searching for products, and they might not necessarily have seen me before. So you bring in a new audience, but you don't know if they're going to stay. And because it's quite broad, like, videography is a very broad topic. You cover things like drones, cameras, tripods, audio gear. It's a mixed audience. They're coming for different, and then tutorials, obviously, they're coming for different reasons. So it's hard to make them stay on your channel. And again, that's something I want to work on next year. Try and make the content a little bit more me central, if that makes sense. Tutorial based, obviously, but me at the forefront of it, and giving tips and stuff like that, and a few less gear reviews. Only a few, because I do enjoy them. Ricky, hi Sam, just wanted to thank you for teaching me how to use Lumix S5 II. My pleasure. What a great camera. Hey, there's so many things about that camera, so many ways you can use it, so many awesome features within there. And I could make a channel just about that, and I'd love to be honest. Would love to see more behind the scenes videos, thumbnail creation, thought process. Yeah, you know what? I think that's what I want to do. So if you weren't here at the beginning, I want to do more. I'm gonna set up like a membership program. I'm gonna do it away from YouTube, because as easy as it would be, on YouTube to do, it wouldn't have the same impact. So I might do it like a private group, like a membership thing, a monthly thing on Zoom. So I can bring you on and ask questions, and we can talk face to face, and also screen share and look at your channels and stuff like that. So if you are interested in this new membership thing that I want to do in 2024, all about YouTube channels, let me know in the comments. If you've got questions about it, let me know. But yes, I'm definitely doing it because I know how hard YouTube is. It's very difficult, and I've tested so many things. I've made so many mistakes, but I've also learned from them. So I want to share that with you, and the depth that you have to go into with that topic alone is like super deep. So I can only do that if I do this monthly thing. So that's what I'm planning on doing. So keep an eye out for that. I've also realized how often I say the word so I'm just gonna have a drink. A bit cold now, that peppermint tea. Different sources of passive income. I don't have to go to work. Great. Don't strive to be famous and promote my YouTube channel. Awesome. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so many people on YouTube are focusing on how many subscribers they have and how big they are in the niche. It's not about that for me. Like, I'm not, I have benchmarks and goals that I want to reach for, but I'm not thinking of how big I want to get and how well, because it's not about, as long as I can earn money from it, that's all that matters. And you can have sustainable income from a relatively small following. And I was lucky enough to get monetized early on and do this full time very early on. So it can happen. You got to play the game. You got to be smart, but yeah, you can do it. Jazz guitar with Andy. Good to see you. This is so clever. I've never thought of it like that. Yes, always in dark mode. Yeah, these comments are from a while ago, aren't they? But this is good. I'm really enjoying it. Why am I running my YouTube channel? So descendants can see their ancestor. Yeah, a few people have said that actually. Like having a YouTube channel, regardless of whether you want to like grow a following or not, it's nice to have something to look back on. Not only when you're older, but when you have a family and they can look back at what you did. Some of it might be embarrassing. Well, for me at least, some videos I don't want to watch of my own, but yeah, it's good. Like, you look back at things that you used to do. I used to be in bands, and there's music videos we did and stuff, and it's always good to look back at those times and see the memories. So yeah, that's another good thing about YouTube. Sean gets frustrating spending half the time for YouTube strategies while taking away from creative portion. That's a good point. Yeah, and you can burn out. So I think the thing is with YouTube or any social media at the moment, it's flying by a rapid pace. You've got content coming out left, right, and center all day long. Everyone's telling you to create multiple pieces of content every day. But the way I see it is like, and Sean's pointed out, don't like if you want to make the best video you can, spend your time on it. It doesn't matter if you can't post every week. Who cares? I'd rather have a good video once a month than 4 okay videos. And you don't want to burn out because it's horrible. I'm really going to try and take this Christmas break. So yeah, work smarter, not harder. Lazy Sam, that's me. In fact, a quote that I've been trying to live by recently is, "What would this look like if it were easy?" And in fact, I applied it to this YouTube live because I wanted to set my camera up over there. I wanted it to look really nice. I wanted to do a video thing so I could bring people on and speak to them. And I thought, this is just too much work around everything else that I've got going on. I thought, what does it look like if it was easy? Let's just stick the webcam on and let's just answer people's comments in the chat. That's it. And then you think about it less. So yeah, lazy is good as long as you still got integrity behind the laziness, if that makes sense. Oh, who is my favorite YouTuber? I started watching YouTube like just before I got into like videography stuff, and Matty Apoya was my favorite. Peter McKinnon, he is one of my favorite, but Matty Apoya, something about his videos just like it did it for me, and I really enjoyed his style at the time. And it's a shame that he's coming off the platform at the end of this year. We're gonna miss that guy doing his videos. Hopefully, I'll stay in touch at some capacity. Um, but I also like Patrick Tomaso. I like his style of videos that he produces. That's kind of the thing that I like and want to make more of. I'm not saying I'm as good as Patrick, but that's the kind of thing that I like. So I like his straight to the point style. Um, Here we go. Chat keeps jumping up and down. Okay, so Andy asked about the shorts. So this live stream is I'm going to keep this live stream up for a week only. So we talked a little bit about shorts a little bit earlier. So if you go back and watch that bit, we talk a little bit about that quite in depth. So what else we got? A couple more before we log off. Yeah. So we've got a question here. Quite interested in making films, but you don't have a camera. Any tips for shooting using a phone camera? I mean, whatever phone you have, I don't know what phone you have, but there's some great phones out there that you can get great results with. But the number one thing with phones is um, the lighting is the most difficult thing because a lot of the phones use auto exposure, so it can look a little bit grainy, a little bit unnatural, very unprofessional. But if you can have download an app, excuse me, if you download an app on your phone that you can have control over the camera settings with your phone, and then bring in some good lighting, you get much better results. Those two tips alone will make your videos look so much better than using like the natural light. So yeah, if you can master that, you're on for a winner. Okay, first video of yours that I watched was the soft boxes. Which one do you like best? Versatility. So when it comes to soft boxes, obviously the bigger the soft box, the soft and the softer the light is going to be. And you know everybody's told that soft lighting is the best. Yeah, it looks nice, but it depends what you're doing. Obviously, hard light. I did a video all about hard light actually, and why you might want to use hard light over soft light in some things, depending on what you're doing. But I actually use, you can see in the background, smaller soft boxes just because I've got a small space and they're easier. There's one above me as well, pointing at that light. And if you can see it, no, you can't. But I use the smaller ones just because they're so versatile, but you have to get them closer to you to make them softer. If this space was bigger, I'd 100% use the larger soft boxes. Another thing is the light mats, you know, um, the big light mats. They're great because they act like a softbox because they're so big and they take up less space. Eric, thinking about scripting, so that's helpful here. I lose track of my thoughts. Yeah, definitely script. I used a teleprompter for a little while, but I felt a little bit wooden sometimes. I like to just memorize a sentence or two and deliver that to camera and try and make it sound as natural as possible. It's hard. It's a skill. Scripting and reading from a script is a skill that you have to develop. Oh, hey, we've got thingies there. We've got reactions. Scripting and reading naturally is a skill, and so is reading from a teleprompter. So it takes practice. Okay. Do you use lavalier mics? Yeah, I use the DJI ones. I'm a big fan of what DJI are doing at the moment. So Rode, when I was in the music world, I had a few Rode microphones. They're fantastic for that sort of thing. But I actually prefer the sound of the DJI microphones. There's a bit more of a flat EQ, whereas no offense to Rode, obviously, because they make great products, but they seem a little bit nasally for me. There's a bit of a mid hump in the frequency. So I prefer the DJI microphones. Little mini lav mics, I use those when I need to. Yeah, sometimes though, I got a lot of hate in one of my videos recently because I held the wireless mic up like this and people don't like it, but I wanted diversity. So I did this video in my downstairs room that has wood floors, so it's very echoey in there, and I was walking around the room as I was doing this the intro because I wanted it to be a little bit more dynamic. So I didn't want to set up a boom, so I used the wireless mic, and I didn't clip it on because I was still getting reflections from the floor and the ceiling. I've got very low ceilings, so I held it there to get the best sound for everybody. But everybody ripped me in the comments for it. So yeah, even though they're omnidirectional, I still sometimes prefer to have it as close as possible. But yeah, I think it depends what you're doing. If you need to hide them, obviously the mini little clip-on lavalier mics are great. Ben, I'll edit for you. Nice one. I'll keep you in mind. Okay. Thank you for your content. A super positive mood, attitude. I think your energy and positive mood is your main superpower and difference here. Thank you very much. Thanks for the very kind words. It really means a lot, because putting yourself out online, especially YouTube, like for the world to see, is very difficult. You don't know if people are going to like you, so it's hard to be yourself. But the fact, when I get comments like that, it really means a lot, and it boosts me. In fact, it's like, if you saw the email I put out the other day about this live, it was all about how thankful and grateful I am to you guys that follow along and leave positive comments like that, because it gives you the drive to keep pushing. If the bigger the audience you reach on YouTube, the more people see it. And if they don't know who you are, they judge you instantly. And you sometimes get some really nasty comments. And, most of them go over my head, but sometimes they bury deep into your mind, and it makes it hard to set up the camera and make videos. So when I hear positive things like that, I really, really appreciate it. And that's what keeps me going. And if it wasn't for things like that, I probably wouldn't have the channel today, because it's difficult. YouTube is very difficult. What do you call a cheer? Okay, Earl's got a joke for Heath. What do you call a cheerful spiritualist? A happy medium. Good one. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the bottom now. Okay, and see what we've got. If you could only use 3 lenses with your Lumix S5 Mark II, what would they be? Great question. You know what? This is strange, because I keep getting that question more and more recently. But I'm actually doing a video on lenses soon, which ones and why. I'm going to go super in depth, because I've not seen a video about it anywhere. Yeah, we're all fed lens videos, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. So I'm going to do that. But the 3 lenses I would use, because it all comes down to what you're doing in the application. But I want to go out and about, so I want like a vlog lens. The lens that I have, I use the kit lens a lot. The 20 to 60 kit lens for the Lumix. Love that lens. It's a great lens. 50 mil. Oh, and then maybe 24. What? Can I only pick 3? Can I pick 4? I'd go 24. Oh, it's hard. I can't do it. I can't do it. I hope that helps. Also, so awesome how I know everyone you're mentioning. Algorithm working is magic. Yeah. Blackmagic app for your phone. Yeah, you're right there. Keep up the awesome work, Sammy. Thanks, Willie Bobby. Good to see you here, man. And thanks for following along. I have that. In fact, I don't know if you can see it in the background there. I won't get it down because I've attached it to the wall, but there's a little skateboard deck there. And Willie Bob is one of my mates from school. In fact, I've known him since I was 4 years old, Willie Bobby. And, we've always been mates. And he's been very supportive of the YouTube channel. So when I hit 30,000 subscribers at the end of last year, he made me a little well done skateboard deck. So I've put it up there. Thanks, Willie Bob, for your support. Really appreciate it. And he's a graphic designer, I might add. So I'll show you at some point, but I can't get it off the wall at the moment. But it's a great little memento, and it's great motivation for me. Okay. Favorite go-to camera backpack. This is a strange one when it comes to backpacks. I'm not like loads of people love the Peter McKinnon bag, and it's great. It's awesome. It looks great. It's very efficient and everything. But for me, I'm just not bothered. The camera bags that I've got work great. They do the same thing. So I'm not bothered. I've got like a little one for when I only need to take one camera and a couple of things, and my lunch. My lunch is very important. As long as it's got a compartment to fit my lunch bag box in and a bags of crisps and stuff, I'm happy. I'm going to sneeze. So I've got a little Manfrotto bag that's super lightweight. I can get those little mini tripods on it as well that we were talking about earlier. That's all that I'm bothered about. And then maybe a bit more of a hard wearing one. I've got hard cases for when I need to like carry more gear around. Um, oh, someone said something about Discord. Maybe set up a Discord server. Yeah, Discord is cool, but I find I'm going to be totally honest. Um, I don't have the time to like keep in the chat all the time, and I want to create um, some sort of like platform where we actually engage properly once a week and answer people's questions like that. Discord can get a little bit messy sometimes, I find. So, and it's hard to keep on top of. And I think people get disengaged when you don't respond a lot. So I'm going to keep it a bit more personal and build more of a connection by doing more video stuff and live stuff. Albi, I'm actually just streaming from my webcam at the moment. I did want to use my proper camera, but I just kept it simple for this one. And I'll put the plant in the background for you so it looks all right. Noah from the USA, thanks for tuning in. How's the Lumix community like, in your opinion? It feels so chill. You know what? I say this a lot, but the Lumix community is a great community to be a part of. Everybody that works there are fantastic, such nice people. It's like a family. There's, you can speak to them whenever you want. They've always got the time of the day for you. They're just genuinely great people to work with, and it's an absolute pleasure. So not only are they like, make great products, they actually also, because I speak to the team often, they listen to people's feedback. And I talk to them a lot about what other people are saying about the cameras, and I feed that back to them, and they really take that on board, and they're super passionate about the products that they make and how it impacts the community as well. So great company, love it. A couple more things before we go then. A few more people are jumping in the chat. Have you watched Danny Gevirtz and Natalie Lynn's videos? It's so good. Want to hear opinion about them. I haven't seen them together, if I'm honest, but I'll go and check those out for sure. Yeah. Danny says Sam can't go more than an hour without stopping for food. You're right. I'm actually starving right now, and I ate just before. So I'm going to have to jump off soon and get a bag of crisps or something. Excuse me. Yeah. Uh, love the minimalist camera rig you've done a while back on the S5. Have you been rocking the same? Yeah. So when it comes to camera rigs, I'm going to do another one very soon, actually. But there's some things coming up that I can't talk about. But I will do another thing soon. Almost let the cat out of the bag then. But I like a minimal setup, and when I say minimal setup, I like to have a big monitor. If I'm going handheld with something, I love the Ronin 4D. I did a video about that the other day. It's got everything built in. It's got a top handle. It's got side handles. It's got a follow focus system in it. You can switch to autofocus. It's got a nice big clear bright monitor, and I love that. So when I'm rigging out the Lumix cameras, for example, you can see one over there. Top handle, side handle, follow focus on the side, monitor on top, V-mount back. Okay, it's not that minimalist, is it, really? Let's just, sorry. But at the end of the day, like bare bones, it's a battery, you can hold it, and it's got a monitor on it. It's fairly simple. Is it? I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, I have been, excuse me, I have been rocking the same setup with the rig. I like it. It's over there. The video's on the channel if you want to check it out. Thanks, Willie Bob. You're really interactive. Thank you for answering all the questions. Thank you. Okay, I feel like because someone's asked why do I have the green tag. So I talked about it at the beginning. It's got the tag on it because it's got the name of the plant, and it tells me how to often to water it. I forget things. I'm a terrible plant dad. So the tag's on it. If I have a kid, I'll probably have it wear a name tag all the time. Yeah, I'm just using my webcam at the moment it's the Apple Monitor Studio display. Okay, last question. Let me just see. I've got a couple ones here. Let me read which one to read out. Okay, have I thought about doing a live in-person hangout? I did think about it actually. I might do something like that next year where we do like an actual meetup somewhere and either just have like hire the room for the day and do a proper meetup and talk about stuff. Maybe I'll think about a topic to do. Or the thing is, I'd like to do it more often. And I think doing this is the best way of doing it because you can tune it. You don't have to go anywhere. You can watch from your sofa in your PJs if you want. But maybe if I'm going to do it, maybe like head out on the street somewhere and show how I would approach filming stuff, and we could all like film something together. Maybe. Um, do I have Yorkshire pudding with my Christmas dinner? Yeah, I do. Love a Yorkshire pud. Me. Let me know if you do as well. Yorkshire pudding. I'm a fan of photography and videography. Check out my channel. Will do. And the gadgets I use will do for sure. What do I do? Want to get a terrible phone camera, cheap phone, quite low budget. Yeah, I think right. The important thing is if you don't have a budget. So I'm just answering this question here. If you don't have a budget and all that you've got is your phone, don't let it hold you back. Uh, Practice with that phone, like camera movements, setting things up, speaking to actors or whoever it is, like directing people. Do what you can and learn as much as possible and just save up. If you've got a job, keep a little bit of money aside and save up for a camera, or a better phone, even. You don't have to go mad. It's about the other things, it's about lighting and things like that. So just save up, do what you can with what you've got, and then save up for a better camera. Okay. I'm going to say we'll leave it there for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to know more about the YouTube advice type thing, link in the description to one-on-one tutorials. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody tuning in. I really didn't think I'd be on for this long. I thought 3 people would show up and I'd be struggling for questions. So thanks so much for coming. I can see people saying goodbye. See you, Danny Bowie. See you, Chris. See you, everyone. Thanks for joining. And have a great Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Tune in for the videos coming because there's so many exciting things. Bye, everyone. See you later. Have a great one. Bye. Goodbye.